Hi guys, so for today we are going to talk about some of the year's digit. This is still our continuation about our topic about depreciation in engineering economy. So last time we have discussed, I think, straight line method and that method, straight line method. And for today's video, we are going to talk about some of the year's digit. So let's get started. So what is the sum of the year's digit method of depreciation? So sum of the year's digit is an accelerated method for determining an asset's expected depreciation over time. So using the number or the sum of the years. That's basically why it is called the sum of the year's digit. As the depreciation rate decreases over time, so does the depreciation charge. Accelerated depreciation differs from standard depreciation by assuming higher depreciation cost in earlier years and lower depreciation charges in the later period. So, as the definition says, we have the sum of the years digit based on the sum of the years the depreciation will take place. So, just like in straight line method, we have several formulas. For the sum of the years, we will be having several formulas also, just like this. So, here we can see that we can compute the respective depreciation charges using this formula. So, for the first year, D sub 1, we have the first cost minus the salvage value multiplied by the L is the usable number of time or usable years or the lifespan of the asset all over the summation of years. Okay? So, and then we have second year, D sub 2, first cost minus the salvage value multiplied by L minus 1. Okay? All over the sum of the years. Wherein, again, the sum of the years can be computed or calculated using this formula. Wherein we have the useful life quantity multiplied by L plus 1 all over 2. So that's how the sum of the years is calculated for this denominator here. And as we can see, for the third year, we have the only difference is that we have L minus 2. For the fourth year, depreciation value, we have the L minus 3 and so on and so forth as the years go by, depending on the uh, years or depending on the problem, what is being asked. Okay? So that will be the pattern. So it will be L minus, for the fifth year, it will be L minus 4. For the sixth year, it will be L minus 5, etc. So that is how you get the depreciation charges per year. So how about the book value? The book value, okay, can be also computed by C sub M, where M is the book value after the year M. Let's say it's first year. So C sub 1 equals the first cost minus the D sub 1. So that will be the book value. And for year 2, that would be C sub M equals C sub first cost minus quantity D sub 1 plus D sub 2. Because we know that the book value will be the first cost minus the total depreciation. Okay? So if we are going to get the book value at the end of M years, so that would be C sub M equals first cost minus the summation of the total depreciation. And so if we have a total lifespan of 10 years, if we minus the first cost and then the total depreciation, the answer should be the salvage value. So in order for us to understand this, we must first try to solve some problems. By the way, I have two problems here. So that we can understand uh, the formulas better, much better. So for number one, a structure costs 12,000 new. It is estimated to have a life of 5 years with a salvage value at the end of the life of 1,000. So determine the book value at the end of each year of life. So we are going to determine the book value at the end of each year life. So the book value means, okay, we have C sub M. So since it is 5 years, so we have the first cost minus D sub 1 plus D sub 2 plus D sub 3 plus D sub 4 plus D sub 5 at the end of 5 years. Okay? So at the end of each year life. So what are we going to do is we're going to get the C sub 1, C sub 2, C sub 3, C sub 4, and then C sub 5. Okay? So, we're going to write the formula. If we're going to write for C sub 1, that would be C sub first cos minus D sub 1. For C sub 2, that would be first cos minus D sub 1 plus D sub 2. And then for the book value, third year book value, that would be C sub O, D1 plus D2 plus D3. And for the C sub 4, we have C sub O minus D1 up to summation to D sub 4. And lastly, of course, that would be C sub O minus D1 summation up to of the depreciation up to D sub 5. Okay, so that will be our formula. So, but before we get the values of the book value, so we need first to get the values of the depreciation. So, since it is the book value at the end of each year of life, so we are going to get also the depreciation per year. So, again, going back to the formula a while ago, we have D sub 1. So, you have the first cost minus the salvage value multiplied by L all over the summation of years. So, first, we just first compute the summation of years because we know that we have first cost as 12,000. We have end of the life value of 1,000. That would be our C sub L. And then we have 5 years as our L. So, we have to first compute the summation of years. So, summation of years, again, is, the formula is L plus 1 all over 2. So, we have L is 5. We have 5 plus 1 here all over 2. So, that would be, okay, 5 times 6, 30, divided by 2, that would be 15. So, our sum of the years would be 15. So, plugging it into our formula, we have now 12,000 minus 1,000. Okay, and then we have L. Our L is 15 all over. Our L, is 5, rather. Our L is 5. So, 5 all over 15. So, that will be our first year depreciation. And that turned out to be 3,666.67 using your calculators. Okay? So, we need to get all of the depreciation per year because we are required to get the book value per year. So, for the D2, we simply replace again 12,000 minus 1,000. Okay, and then we have 5 all over, okay, minus 1. That would be L minus 1. Okay? Because in our formula a while ago, we have seen it, okay, that for the second year, we have L minus 1 here. So, we have 5 minus 1 here. And that would be 15. Okay? And then, of course, the value, you can use it, you can use your technique in your calculator. So, for example, for this one, we have 12K minus 1K. Of course, that's obviously, you can type it as 11K. And then we have 5 minus 1 here all over 15. So, we can have a value of 2,933.33. Okay? So, for the fourth formula or for the third year depreciation, we can actually write 11,000 here because 12,000 minus 1,000 is 11,000. We have 5 minus 2 here all over 15. So, in your calculator, you can just click the replace so that you will not retype all of the equations or the solutions here. So, just click the replay and then just simply replace it by 2. Okay? And now you have the depreciation for the third year. So, that would be 2,200. Okay? For the fourth year, we have 11K. Again, that would be 5 minus 3, of course, 15 because of the formula. So, you can just simply replace the 2 here with 3. Okay? Or you can assign X here and calculate. Click the calculate and then let X be 3. So, you can also do that. So, we have 1,466 0.67. So that is our fourth year depreciation. And in fifth year, we have 11,000. We have 5 minus 4 all over 15. Of course, we just have to replace this by 4. So now we have 733.33. So 733.33. So that is not our final answer because we are trying to find the book value at the end of each year life. So our answer will start with C sub 1 up to C sub 5. So if we do that, let's check. So we have C sub 1, C sub 0 minus D1. So our first cost is actually 12,000. Okay, minus the D1, which is 3,666.67 rounded off. So our C sub 1 book value for the first year would be 8,333.33. Okay? So we have 8,333.33. That's our first book value. For the second year, we have 12,000. Okay? First cost minus, okay, D1 plus D2. Of course, the first year depreciation and then additional of the second year. So we have 3,666.67 plus, do we have a D2 here? We have 2,933.33. Okay, so if we compute that, so what will happen? Our answer should be 5,400. So that will be the book value after the second year. So notice that the book value goes down because we are talking about the book value, and we are expecting that in the fifth year, it should be equal to the salvage value. So we have C sub 3, we have 12,000 minus D1 plus D2 plus D3. Okay, so we have 12K minus 3,666.67 plus 2,933.33 plus what's the D sub 3 is 2,200. So what will happen? Our C sub 3 becomes 3,200. Okay? So for C sub 4, we know it. First cost, D1 plus D2 plus D3 plus D4. So we have 12,000 minus 3,666.67 plus 2,933.33 plus 2,200. Okay, plus our D4 is 1,466.67. Okay, so our C sub 4 will now become 1,733.33. So that would be our C sub 4. For the last one, for the book value, we have 12,000 and of course minus D1 plus D2 plus D3 plus D4 plus D5. So we have 12K minus, of course, I will not rewrite all of those because it would take me too much time. So I will just be writing D sub 5 plus 733.33. And as you can see, if you had 733.33 here, okay, and you minus it here, that C sub 5 becomes 1K. And that is how we arrive at the salvage value because we are expecting that after 5 years, okay, the book value will be the same as the salvage value, which is 1,000. Okay, so the answers are 8,333.33 for C sub 1, C sub 2 is 5,400, C sub 3 is 3,200, C sub 4 is 1,733.33, and C sub 5 is 1,000. So that is for our number 1. Alright, so for number 2, a new machine costs 8 million. Okay? So a new machine costs 8 million, has a useful life of 10 years, and it can be sold for 750,000 at the end of the useful life. It is expected that 250,000 will be spent to dismantle, to be removed at the end of its useful life. What is the sum of the years? compute for the book value at the end of each year of life as well as the depreciation during the year. So this will be a lengthy solution because the problem is asking for every year of the depreciation every year, and at the same time, okay, so at the same time, the book value at the end of each year. Okay, so that will be our problem to solve. Okay, let's identify first the given. So we have 8 million as our first cost. 8 million, I'm going just to write 8M. And then L would be 10 years. Okay. And the problem states that it can be sold for 750,000, which is the salvage value. But if you sold it, it is also expected that you will be spending 250,000 to dismantle it. So technically, what will happen to the salvage value? So the salvage value is expected to be 750, but since you have another expense to dismantle it, 250,000, so you have to get the difference between the 750 and 250. And that will give us the salvage value of 500,000. Okay? So, what is the sum of the years? First, the sum of the years would be computed as our formula. We have L plus 1 all over 2. So, we have 10 times 10 plus 1 all over 2. So, that's 10 times 11, that's over 2. That is 110 all over 2. That's 55. So, that is our sum of the years. Okay? And then, first, again, we get the depreciation per year. Okay, so we have C sub O minus C sub L. And then we have L all over summation of the years. Okay, for the first year. So we all know, for the sake of time, I can just write here 8 million minus the C sub L, salvage value is 500,000. Okay, and then we have L as 55, or L as 10 all over 55. Okay? So, yeah, what will we get? We are going to get 1,363,000, okay, 636.36. That's for our first year depreciation. Okay, so for the next D2, D3 up to D10, I'm just going to write here, okay, 8 million minus, since this is always the same, okay, since that is always the same, I'm just going to write 7,500,000 because it's always the same for the computation. Or I can write 7.5M. Just don't forget in your calculator to write 7.5 times 10 raised to 6. It's possible. Okay? So times 10 raised to 6, or that's 7 million. So, and of course, D2 would be 10 minus 1 all over 55. So, we get for D2 as 1,272,272.73. So, that's our D2. For D3, you can just repeat it. So, this is 7.5M. And then we have 10 minus 2. Don't forget that it would be minus 2 since we are on the year 3. So that would be 1,090,000, okay, 909.99. Okay, so let me just check. Okay. Or 0.09. I think it's 0.09. So let's double check in our calculator so that we can be sure of the answer. So we have 7.5 times 10 raised to 6. So that's million. So all over 8 over 15. Because 10 minus 2 is 8. Okay. 55. Sorry. So over 8 all over 55. Okay. So 09. That's correct. So for D4, we have 7.5 million. 10 minus 3 all over 55. We do that. Okay. So we have 954,545.45. Okay, for the D4. For the D5, we have 7.5 million. 10 minus 4 all over 55. Okay, so we have for D5, we have 818, 181.82. Okay? And of course, D6, we have 7.5 million. That would be 10 minus 5 all over 55. So our answer would be 681. So as you can see, again, same scenario that will happen from the previous problem. It's such that the since the useful life is 10 years, so the depreciate or the book value at the end of the 10th year should be the same as the salvage value. Okay? Because it is the useful life. So we have 10 minus 6 all over 55. So for D7, we have 545.454.55. Okay? So D8, it can be long depending on your problem. It can be just short depending on the problem again. So we have D8 of 409,090.91. Okay? So D9, we are almost done. 7.5 million, 10 minus 8 all over 55. So we have D9, the depreciation after 9 years. So we have this value. And for the D10, finally, we have 10 minus 9 all over 55. So the depreciation should be 136,363.64. Okay? So we are done with the sum of the years. We are also done with the depreciation. Now we are moving forward with what do you call this? The book value. So for the book value, C sub 1, of course, that is C sub O minus D1. So from the values that we have gotten a while ago from our solving, we can just simply substitute this. So the first cost, again, is 8 million, okay, minus the D1. So that must be 1,363,600, 1,363. Okay, I'm sorry. I can just erase this. Okay. 636.36. Okay, so again, you can compute it during the up to the end, okay? So that we can get C sub 1 as 6,676,363.64. So that is our book value for the first year. So for C sub 2, do the following. C sub 0, again, first cost minus the summation of D1 and D2. So, and then looking on your values, we have 8 million minus, of course, we have 1,363,636.36, okay? Plus, before you minus, you have to get the total depreciation for the year 2. Okay, so that would be, the C sub 2 would be what? 409,090.91. So you do this up to C10, okay? So I will not be writing anymore the numbers because it's too long, okay? But I will leave you with the answers. So for our C3, that the formula would be again D1, C sub 0 minus the summation of D1, D2, and D3. Okay, you do that on your calculator. So your answer would be 4,318,181.82. For the C4, first cost minus D1 plus D2 plus D3 plus D4. And your answer should be, the first cost is still the same. It's always the same, guys. Okay? It's always the 8 million because that is the first cost. So we have 3,363,000, okay, 636.37. So that would be our C4. And then C5, C sub 0, this is the formula, up to D5. The summation up to D5. Okay? And for our C5, we have 2,545,454.55. Okay? For the C6, we have first cos D1, of course, summation up to D6. So, I hope you're getting the pattern. So, we have C sub 6 here, okay, as 1,863,636.37. Okay, then moving forward with C7, of course, we have first cos minus D1 plus D2 plus D3 plus D4 plus D5 plus D6 plus D7. Okay, so that's how you solve. The most important thing here is we know how to solve it. Okay? We know the values of the depreciation every year. Okay? And we see that it's getting near to the book value or the salvage value. So, okay. So, for our C8, 909,090.91. So, it's nearing the salvage value. So, we have C sub O for C sub 9. That would be D1 up to D9. Okay, I just shortcut it. So, we have C9. That would be 636,363.64. And finally, for C sub 10, the book value after C sub 10 or 10 years, that would be D1 plus up to the depreciation up to 10. You summation it. You get the sum of it. So, the C sub 10, okay, we are expecting that it should be equal to 500. And when you solve it, it should equal to the 500. Because after the end of the 10 years, okay, the book value will be the same with the salvage value because that is what we are expecting. So hence, these are our answer for this problem number 2. And for your take home, okay, you can screenshot this problem and you can work on it, okay, by the sum of the year's digit, and I hope this will help you. And thank you so much again for listening. Again, this is Engr Abat. See you again on the next video.